From Arkansas's breaking news leader, Fox 16 News at 9 starts now.
To protect my family.
People concerned over talk of a new way to distribute drugs. Good evening, everyone. I'm Donna Terrell.
I'm Kevin Kelly. You do it every day. Check your mailbox. But this may also be used for more than just delivering letters and bills. As
Fox 16's Melissa Schroeder found out, folks in Saline County, in a neighborhood there, they fear drug users are using this to make transactions.
Well, that's right, guys. We visited people in the Mableville area today and found several families living there. So folks are really concerned drug deals could be taking place right inside their personal mailboxes.
Robert Brown walks his grandchildren to the mailbox in front of their Mableville home every morning to wait on the school bus.
Y'all have a good day.
Now, some of his neighbors on McPherson Valley Road say there's been a new method of distributing drugs inside random mailboxes.
Well, it does make it a little uneasy.
It's obviously a huge concern for Brown, who's very protective of his family.
Who's to say that somebody didn't pick their drugs up and my kids find it out there?
Neighbors say they've spotted someone pulling up to mailboxes, dropping something inside what they believe to be drugs, and then 10-15 minutes later, another car comes by and picks it up.
We just don't have the street corners, so I guess they have to revert to mailboxes. It's probably a drive-by, you might say.
We talked to Saline County Sheriff Rodney Wright about this issue.
It's not unheard of.
He says drug mailbox drops would be risky, but they can happen, especially in situations where sellers want to keep too much traffic away from their own homes. Sheriff Wright says detectives will be looking into it.
We put our feelers out, and hopefully, if there is something going on, we'll definitely investigate it.
It's a big concern. Saline County, for the biggest part, has always been a drug problem.
Brown says he's also going to keep an eye out for any extra activity that may be a red flag for crime.
And Sheriff Wright certainly didn't want to discredit concerns in the Mableville neighborhood, but says he has seen situations like this where it turned out to be what's called geocaching. Basically, it's a scavenger hunt where people hide objects using GPS coordinates on a website. Again, though, drugs is serious business, so deputies will be looking into this.
And detectives are telling us that this is primarily happening in the Mapleville area.
Right.
The thing is, they're using mailboxes here. Yeah. They could end up getting some pretty stiff fines outside of the drug use or drug
and
deals.
that's a good point, because tampering with a mailbox, as you know, is a federal crime.
Exactly.
So on top of state charges, they could also be facing federal charges.
My goodness. Okay.
Risky business, I'll tell you that.
You got that right, thanks. Well, the Pulaski County Sheriff's Department needs your help tonight, finding a man missing now for nearly a week. We want you at home to take a good look at this picture. 20-year-old Cody McCann was last seen in the Landmark area on Saturday, January 10th. He was wearing a black hooded sweatshirt with the word Honda on it, a white and red long-sleeve t-shirt with a Razorback on the left side, along with blue jeans and gray tennis shoes. If you see him, be sure to call Pulaski County deputies.
A Conway woman facing felony charges tonight for allegedly starving her dog to death. Conway police were called to a home off Susan Lane in Conway December 3rd to investigate a report of a dog left in a kennel in the backyard. When officers got there, they found the German Shepherd mix dead, chained to the kennel with a choke collar. Officers say there was no sign of food or water.
I can't see how anybody could find it within themselves to do something like that to one of God's creatures.
Well, while we were at the house today, a man came outside and said the allegations against Ferguson are false, but he didn't want to tell us that on camera. If Ferguson is convicted, she could face up to 6 years in prison and a $10,000 fine.
Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 meteorologist Natalie Walters.
Well, it was a gorgeous day today. Temperatures 60s, 50s. Nice change from the cold weather that we saw last week. So let's go ahead and take a look at those high temperatures today. We got up to 61 for your high today in Little Rock, 58 Searcy, 59 your high temperature in Batesville. So overall upper 50s, right about 60 degrees, made for a pleasant afternoon with that sunshine. It certainly made a nice day. Here's a look at what's going on right now. Things are pretty quiet out there. We have clear skies. On my way back into work today, I actually saw a shooting star. So we'll have clear skies out there tonight to maybe go stargazing, as we're going to be seeing very nice, pleasant conditions. And again, clear skies expected through the overnight hours. A 45 your temperature in Little Rock right now, 32 Clinton. So temperatures have fallen and they'll continue to do so as we go through the overnight hours. Clear skies will help out with that. So we're going to be seeing temperatures fall closer to that average low for this time of the year, which is about 31, but we'll be in those mid-30s tonight. Live pinpoint radar not showing any activity going on right now. Things are staying quiet and expecting to see pretty quiet conditions that are forecast. So this is what we're expecting for tonight. Again, temperatures falling to 35 for that low. Clear sky, a cold night for us here, but we are warming up as we head into your day tomorrow. 63 for your afternoon high temperature with that sunshine. We'll see clouds increasing as the day goes on as the front slides its way through, but it's a nice cold front because behind it another area of high pressure that's not an Arctic high pressure system. We're going to be seeing temperatures actually pretty pleasant for the rest of the week. And I'll have that full forecast. I'll let you know how long this mild weather is going to stick around coming up in just a bit.
Well, for the fourth time in 27 years, the Supreme Court will once again be weighing in on major gay rights issues.
The High Court is gearing up to hear arguments on whether same-sex couples have the right to marry everywhere in the country. Fox's Kieran McHugh has our story.
A new year, a new decision. The Supreme Court has announced it will take up the issue of same-sex marriage when just months ago the High Court turned away appeals to prohibit the unions. Now the court will hear a case challenging Michigan's ban on same-sex marriage brought by two women.
This is probably the proudest day in my great lesbian life that I've had.
You know, we are just thrilled and happy.
The justices will hear the cases in April, and they'll ponder two questions. One is whether the Constitution requires states to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, and the other, whether states must recognize same-sex marriages performed elsewhere. Proponents of traditional marriage say the decision should be left up to each individual state. Austin Nimitz of Alliance Defending Freedom says, quote, "The people of every state should remain free to affirm marriage as the union of a man and a woman in their laws. Same-sex couples are currently permitted to marry in 36 states and the District of Columbia. There are just 14 where it's not allowed. If the court rules in favor, same-sex couples nationwide will have a right to marry. The Obama administration has expressed support for unions and will urge the court to make marriage equality a reality for everyone."
You know, we certainly are supportive of the kinds of decisions that expand freedom and liberty and consistent with the president's view, and is hopeful that other courts will make the same decision.
A decision on the case could come by late June. Karen McHugh, Fox News.
Well, with the legislative session in full swing here at home, anti-abortion activists flooded the Capitol today in hopes of catching the attention of state lawmakers. On January 22nd, the United States will recognize the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion. The organizers of Concepts of Truth International were joined by more than a dozen pro-life advocates spreading awareness about the dangers of abortion. One by one, women took the podium encouraging others to not support abortion, but rather to choose life.
We're here today because we were once in denial as to whether or not we had taken a life during the abortion, but no more. We represent the voice that hasn't been heard.
According to the group, since 1943, there have been more than 100,000 reported abortions in the state of Arkansas. And for more information on the group, you can always visit our website, fox16.com.
A 4.5-hour search ends with DHS walking away with 7 children in Garland County. The parents say they still don't know why it happened. They spoke to Fox 16's Josh Berry, who investigates why the children were taken away.
Policeman here, over here on the side road full of policemen.
Hal Stanley opened his door to find a warrant waiting for him and his home surrounded by state and Garland County agents.
They said, "We're here to search your house."
Hal and his wife Michelle were kept outside for hours while officers searched the home with their 7 children inside. The Stanleys avoid most contact with the government already, homeschooling the kids, keeping to themselves, generally self-sustained, and consider themselves preppers. But they say they've never had a run-in with the law before.
Unless they stopped to buy vegetables. No. We've never had I never had a speeding ticket.
And neighbors like Norman Bondi.
We've seen the family grow up.
Vouch for the family atmosphere.
You know, you hear the sounds of children playing and laughing, and you see them jumping on the trampoline.
But Monday night, it was a much different scene.
The whole neighborhood was aware of something going on.
The search found bottles of MMS, a miracle mineral solution the FDA has warned about, saying it becomes a potent chemical that's used as a bleach and can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and symptoms of severe dehydration if taken. But Hal insists the children haven't had any, saying he only uses it for alleged health benefits and his garden.
Saying that I was endangering them with some water purification drops.
And it's possible there's more to the investigation than the parents were told. They say 7 children were separated into shelters and foster homes. Now, according to DHS, if children are taken, the agency has 72 hours to have an emergency order signed by a judge and an additional 5 days to hold a probable cause hearing where the fate of the children will be determined.
There has to be more to that story.
You know what? We keep saying that.
I know.
And I'm sure Josh is going to stay on it and he's going to let us know. But you're right. It's a little baffling.
Yeah, because the FDA has issued a number of warnings on a number of different products.
And people still use these products.
And I haven't seen investigators storm other homes.
So, yeah, we will learn more in the coming days, I'm sure.
If anybody will get it, it'll be Josh.
Yeah.
The suspect in a terror plot on the nation's capital appears in court.
And President Obama meets with Britain's top official to discuss a plan to combat terrorism in the world.
You know, you hear people outside talking, but you don't ever hear no fighting, no gunshots, no nothing.
Bullets tear through a first-floor apartment, damaging an 18-year-old's home and neighbors' sense of security. Where the investigation stands at this hour when we come back.
You're watching Fox 16 News at 9 with Donna Terrell, Kevin Kelly, sports with Wes Moore, and Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin. This is Fox 16 News at 9.